Welcome back to the Brad and Zach Show. I'm Zach. I'm Brad. And today we're going to be talking about the Parkland Gun Rally, or the March for Our Lives movement. This goes along with a lot of the gun control talks that we've been having lately, and we thought we'd make a response video to this March for Our Lives movement as we disagree with what it stands for, because we believe, like in our previous videos, that disarming the citizens is simply going to make this place more dangerous. Recent rallies and walkouts to bring attention to gun violence across the country have been called the March for Our Lives movement. They don't work, and recent events prove this. For example, a shooting at a Maryland high school last week, not long after the Florida shooting, occurred. But what happened was the shooter walked into the school and he was taken down by a good guy with a gun. All right, and we'll touch more on that, but we just want to say, going in, none of these walkouts, none of these things are supporting saving children's lives. They're simply supporting taking away guns, and that's just not going to work.
So, like we've said, more gun control isn't the answer. You know, we've just said this, we've said this in past videos. It's just not going to help anything. You know, it hasn't stopped recent events. It hasn't stopped the shooting in Maryland. It hasn't stopped the week-long, string of serial bombings in Austin, Texas. It didn't stop a gunman in France who killed 3 hostages and wounded about a dozen more. Gun control didn't stop them from obtaining and using these weapons, illegally against innocent people. The Maryland shooter, he was 17 and committed his shooting with a pistol. You can't own a pistol in Maryland unless you're 21. That gun laws didn't stop him. You know what stopped him? A good guy with a gun. The Austin bomber didn't even use a gun to commit his crimes. That just shows that criminals will get around gun laws, any way they can, whether it be with illegal guns or with other weapons that are still illegal, like bombs. The French shooter was also using an illegal weapon, as it's not legal to really own weapons in France unless you're hunting or using them for sport. And I fail to see how a hostage situation was either hunting or sport. You know what else stopped him? A good guy with a gun. Police. Not gun laws. So back to the March for Our Lives, these rallies that have been going on. We really shouldn't even be taking these kids that seriously. And not because they're kids, but because they're making uneducated emotional arguments in response to these recent events. Sometimes they even use false facts and statistics. Not necessarily on purpose, though they could be using them on purpose, but it could be because, that's all they hear. That's all they hear from the media. That's all they hear from their friends. Right. BuzzFeed, Vox, whatever, that are just wrong. They make, ignorant, wrong claims such as hunters don't need 30-round clips or assault rifles. And then they blame the NRA for stuff that happens. First off, they make these arguments without any knowledge in regard to guns or the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment was written exactly so we could have the same amount of firepower as the military or the government, and that includes high-capacity magazines. The NRA isn't a terrorist organization. Nope. They're the exact opposite. They're actually fighting for our rights, to protect us from terrorists, whether that be in the government, from foreign countries. They're fighting for our Second Amendment rights. So I watched a little bit of this March for Our Lives, and I caught a couple of the points that they were making. One of them was that they demanded that all politicians support their disarming of the citizens, or they would be voted out. These kids aren't really old enough to vote. Most of them aren't. They're high school kids. And they say that Parkland students are the only ones going to be voting in elections. They forget that there are way more people out there who are educated on guns and Second Amendment history, that don't want their rights taken away and will vote for the people who protect their rights. They're also very hypocritical about their arguments. Recently, Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School has implemented a new policy requiring all students to carry clear backpacks so there's no way to conceal carry a weapon. You may know who David Hogg is. He's the outspoken Stoneman Douglas student favoring gun control. He's commented on this policy, I guess you could say, on national television, saying that it violates First Amendment rights. Really? You're not okay with your rights being taken away in the interest of safety, but you're literally marching on Washington to take away our rights in the interest of safety. The hypocrisy is mind-blowing.
So we believe that arming teachers and arming security guards is the best solution. But if you really want to do something that doesn't involve arming teachers, then go make friends with the kid sitting in the cafeteria or walking in the halls who's alone, who looks like he doesn't have very many friends, who looks like he's upset. Go be friends with him. Go talk to him. Show that kid some love, and who knows, maybe you'll stop the next school shooter. And maybe he won't be a school shooter. Maybe he's gonna harm himself.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he's just upset, you know? Just go talk to him. Go ask him how his day is. You know? Just be a friend to the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I can speak from experience that I know that when people walk up to other people who seem to be lonely, it shines so much light into that person's life. And a simple hello or a simple handshake and, hey, how are you doing, can speak volumes. Don't just walk out of class, because that does nothing. Don't just go sit, you know, with the popular people at lunch, you know. Go out there and make a difference in the world in the little ways, and it'll make a difference in the big ways later on. In addition to that, don't come on national TV and use children to take away our rights. Our rights are not yours to give up. We know that what happened at Stoneman Douglas High School was terrible. We're not trying to discredit the fact that these high schoolers have gone through something traumatic, because they have. And we hate that for them, and we are trying our best to educate the public on the best way possible to prevent that from happening again. And something that I've personally noticed is, while this March for Life event is going on, a shooting happened at a Maryland high school that would have been just like the Florida shooting. Multiple kids would have died if it had not been for a good guy with a gun to stop them. Yet you have David Hogg, and you have all of these other high schoolers going out and saying, we want to protect children by taking away guns. If we would have implemented their policy, then the same thing would have happened in Maryland, and all the kids in that high school potentially could have died as well.
So thanks for watching today, guys. We hope you liked it. We hope you'll come back for more. Keep in touch. Hit us up at our email. We'll leave that down in the description. Send us an email. Let us know what you like, what you didn't like. Give us your thoughts. Give us some topics you want to see in the future.
You know, we'll be coming out with more content soon. You know, so far we've been talking about the gun control issue simply because it's been the most prominent issue lately. But we'll be coming out with a lot more content. And so, in addition to this, we want you guys to let us know.
We're college students.
Right.
We see this discussion happening all across our campus. We keep in touch with the news. We see it happening across the country. Like we said in earlier videos, we're here to educate. We can't do that if this video doesn't get out there. We want you to help us educate the country.
Right.
So do us a favor, do yourselves a favor, do the country a favor. Share this video with somebody.
Yep.
Whether it be your college professors, your high school teachers,
Family members,
friends. You do some educating too. Share it, like it, subscribe, come back for more, and we'll see you next time.